What's up, everyone? This is DJ So, and I wanted to take a few moments just to talk a little bit about my life and my gigs that I've had the past 24 hours or so. I had several things going on yesterday, and I didn't get to film a whole lot, but yesterday morning I had a gig, actually two gigs at my kids' school, my kids' elementary school. The first event was for the fifth graders. They were having a fifth grade picnic in which I provided music, I provided the sounds, I provided a microphone, and played music for a couple hours, made announcements, took requests. Very simple gig, but it was outside. And as you all know, with it being outside came some challenges. Some of those challenges were making sure my equipment was protected from the sun and also the wind, which the thing about the wind is that it kicks up a lot of dust and dirt into the air and could potentially mess up my equipment or make them dirty. So I had to think about that, and it was a good event, a good gig. The kids were great. All the kids were very nice and kind, and of course, they're classmates with my daughter. So that was fun to be able to go out there and provide some entertainment for the kids of her grade, her classmates. So that was fun. And then after that, I had to go into the gym, and they were having an incentive for kids that had registered for the next school year. So they were having a glow party, which couldn't really get much glow because of the lights in the gym. The lights in the gym, when you turned them off, it was still pretty bright in there, and you couldn't get any effects from the black lights that they had. And I brought one spider wash to try to wash a little bit, but it wasn't it wasn't very effective due to it having emergency lights on. So there was that. So I go do those events, take my kids home, and right when I get home, I had to deal with going to another school in the area, Elmer Park, where I used to teach, because one of my DJs that was there texted me during the day and was asking about setup and all that, and he wasn't. We just weren't sure about how he was going to set up. So I told him I would go take care of it, set it up. So after I load out of all my equipment of my kids' school, and also I picked them up, I had to unload my van because it didn't have the things I needed for my gig in the evening, which was at another middle school in the area. So I had to rearrange things. I had to take everything out. I had to pack up things that I needed for the middle school gig. And so I did that. And then I headed over to Elmer Park to try to set up for the dance that my other DJ was about to do. So I get to Elmer Park, and the sound system has changed. Somebody changed the sound system. So it was not working like it usually does. Usually I just go in there, I hook one or two cables up, connect it to my mixer, and then I test it and it works fine. Well, the system had totally been revamped and changed. And anyways, I finally figured it out after about 30, 45 minutes. Then I head and back to the neighborhood to drop my kids off for the sitter. And then from there, I go to my gig over at Bonland Middle, which I didn't get any film. I was just starting to just wear thin on my energy, my patience. So I set up for the Bonlin gig. I set up my two 15-inch speakers. I set up my subwoofer. I set up the spider washers. I set up my tubes. Get everything set up. It looked pretty good. It looked great. It sounded great. I sometimes forget that I have these JBL 15-inch tops that give really good sound, especially in the cafeteria where I was at. And the Alto sub that I have the TS318 Alto sub, and that thing thumps. And so I have to think about using that whenever I've got a gig that needs that much sound. But anyways, I get home, I realized that I lost my keys. Somehow I was able to drive home in my van without my keys, or I misplaced my keys. And so that's why I'm on the floor here in the garage. I'm looking through all my bags, trying to find my set of keys. I might have accidentally put them in a bag somewhere. And so that's what I'm doing right now. And so that's why we're on the floor. We're talking, and I'm sharing you all the things that have happened in the past 24 hours. And looking back on yesterday and thinking about those of you who do this full time, man, kudos to y'all. Kudos, props to y'all. I don't know how y'all do it. I know some of y'all been doing it for years. You're veterans at this. Days like this happen all the time. But yesterday was just one of those days where I was just so thankful that for me, this is something that's just, I guess you would call it a hobby with benefits and a side hustle. Because if this was something that I had to do week in and week out, I don't know how long I would last. So kudos to y'all who do this full time and who are the weekend warriors and stay up late and the time away from your family and all that. I do hope that those of you who do this full time, if you can leave a comment in the comment section, let me know how you deal with these situations, these back-to-back gigs, the frustrations of losing keys and mishaps, and protecting your equipment from the rain and the sun and the wind and all that. So let me know. I appreciate you listening to this rant. Appreciate those of you who subscribe, those of you who always comment. I really do appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. This is DJ So, Daddy by day, DJ by night. God bless.